This time, President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria and his South African counterpart Cyril Ramaphosa have met at the 11th session of the Nigeria-South Africa Bi-National Commission in Cape Town. President Ramaphosa says tourists from Nigeria can now apply for a visa without submitting a passport. He mentioned that South Africa has simplified its visa processes to facilitate travel for Nigerian investors and tourists, one of which is a 5-year multiple entry visa. South Africa is also working to support Nigeria's quest to join the G20 bloc. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
Excellency.
This kind of meeting between Nigeria and South African leaders usually has far-reaching implications. The two countries are among Africa's biggest economic powerhouses. The two leaders share a personal and mutually special relationship. President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa will fully support Nigeria's bid to join the G20 and improve trade ties between the two countries.
The African Continental Free Trade Area will allow our two countries to trade in a more seamless manner across a variety of products. And this is the time for us to seize the opportunity to begin robust trading between Nigeria and South Africa.
The visiting Nigerian president reminisced on the bilateral relationship that exists between both countries. President Bola Tinubu, however, acknowledged that there are some rough edges that should be smoothened up. Historically, the relationship between Nigeria and South Africa has often been categorized under three major pillars: conflict, cooperation, and competition. The relationship, however, has been strained by long-standing tensions, particularly as relating to both countries' aspirations to play a more decisive leadership role on the continent.
We must ensure that the spirit of the collaboration and cooperation between our two leading countries in Africa will intensify and deepen under our leadership of our respective nations. This is not a matter of choice, but of destiny that include an historical responsibility that we hold the African people.
Here, President Bola Tinubu seeks to start a new phase for Africa's largest economies, as both presidents discussed the benefits of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement and the role of international finance institutions on the continent, also cooperation in the mining and telecoms sector. Nigeria needs South Africa's cooperation to secure full membership in the G20 and BRICS, along with participation in the BRICS New Development Bank. Femi Akonde, TVC News.
And back home, President Bola Tinubu has directed the Ministry of Justice to work with the National Assembly to address concerns on the tax reform bills. A statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, emphasized that President Tinubu is committed to accountability on the tax bills and will always act in the interest of the people. The minister mentioned that although there is a lot of misinformation and fake news circulating around the tax bills, the fiscal reforms will bring relief to tens of millions of Nigerians across the country, saying President Tinubu is implementing an ambitious fiscal reform agenda that will devolve more resources to Nigeria's state and local governments. To the National Assembly now, where there was a rowdy session on the floor of the House of Representatives following a controversial remark by Ekiti State member of the House, who is also the spokesperson, Akin Rotimi Jr., over the contentious tax reform bills. A National Assembly correspondent, Joke Adisa, tells us more.
Tuesday's plenary began on a good footing as members concentrated on the day's legislative business. But a loud argument started when Akin Rotimi Jr., standing in for Bayelsa State member Boma Goodhead, to present a report on the Nigerian content development and monitoring. While introducing himself, the Ekiti State legislator says East States caucus in the National Assembly is the first to adopt the tax reform bills, and all hell is let loose.
Honorable colleagues, I am protected.
The Speaker intervenes as Mr. Rotimi apologizes to his colleagues. Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu's motion that the federal government unfreezes the bank accounts of Social Investment Agency within 72 hours receives members' support.
Urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to mandate the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy to A, ensure that all frozen accounts of the National Social Investment Program Agency are unfrozen within 72 hours.
Rising under a matter of urgent public importance, Akwa Ibom State member Inime Iden raises concerns on the recurring cases of boat mishaps and their attendant fatalities.
Urge the federal government through the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and the Ministry of Transport to conduct a thorough investigation into the recent boat mishaps in Nigeria.
The House has called on the Central Bank of Nigeria to put the planned retirement of over 1,000 staff on hold pending its intervention.
The sudden mass retirement of over 1,000 staff, including directors and senior management, raises critical questions about the criteria for selection, transparency, and adherence to due process in line with public service guidelines and labor laws.
Lawmakers want the federal government to take emergency action to curb rapidly escalating menace of kidnapping and insurgency-related activities in Pangshin Kanke and Kanam local government area of Plateau State.
Deploy the specialist anti-kidnapping squad to some locations in Kanam local government area, Pangshin and Kanke, to immediately begin targeted operations to gather intelligence on the kidnapping and their networks.